Shoopy!
Shoopy!
Oh my God.
Shoopy!
How are we?
We are great, Shoopy. How are we?
Very good.
Good or poorly kept secret? It's hard to tell.
I think this is a pretty well kept secret.
It is the legend himself, Michael Gruber.
Yes, back in the game. Who would have thought it?
Sure as hell not me.
Sure as hell not me either.
Grubes,
The man at the helm.
what are we doing here?
Hell if I know. We're going to find out.
My plan to get Matt Kenseth on for you to do a one-on-one interview with him, the NASCAR legend, fell through, so I could not lock that up for you. We got Grubes, Mike.
We don't know how the phones work anyway.
Yeah, that is true.
We don't. We got to figure that out, too.
And if you're keeping score at home, that is three dudes named Mike.
It's not confusing at all.
If the two wasn't enough.
No. Not at all. Not at all. Anybody can figure it out. Let's see. Now, you're Shoopy, right?
No, I'm not Shoopy. No,
okay.
not Shoopy.
All right, I'm totally confused. All right, we got to get to the bottom of this, though, with Shoopy.
Yes.
Because you were at the helm for us for a long, long time at our other most recent port of call. And then you left. You departed. You departed because you weren't making enough money and for a lot of other reasons. And so tell us about your travels between then and now.
Yeah, it's been a very interesting journey. I started at the ticket as a 16-year-old intern, somehow became the regular board op for Bob and Dan at 19, and then became your board op on the hard line at 21, and by 26, I was gone from the station. Attempted to get my college degree. That flamed out really quick, but it gave me an opportunity to work for Bally Sports Southwest for most of the last 10 years as an audio engineer. I took over the music during games at different times, the Dallas Stars, Dallas Mavericks, and Texas Rangers. Was the ambassador of fun for the Frisco Rough Riders for 5 years. And just got to do all sorts of other just random fun things. But then when you gave me a call a couple months ago and wanted to gauge my interest in possibly getting back into this thing and getting back into radio, I wanted to immediately say yes, but I knew that there was some housekeeping to do to figure out if we could make it work for it to make sense for me to leave the things that I'm doing, to leave the Texas Rangers and Bally Sports Southwest.
Right.
And we found a way to make that all work out, and so I'm going to be the, board op / producer for you guys and board op for Ben and Skin. So I'll be in this damn room from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day. And I'm just incredibly excited and grateful for the opportunity. And I never thought I would get back into radio 20 years after first getting into it and 10 years after leaving it. But getting to be in a room with you boys again is incredible.
We couldn't be more excited for this. I couldn't be more excited for this.
Because
your travels have been far and wide. And like you, I too thought you were done with this. And I would not really have thought to even broach the matter with you. That's how done with it I thought you were.
Yeah, and I kind of thought I was, but I'm glad that y'all threw my name out there at some point and at least gave me the opportunity to consider it. And the more I thought about it, the more that I just, did my own little calculations, pros and cons and all that. I'd been looking for something that was full-time, ideally during the day, and if I could get both of those things, if it could be creative as well, then that's all I could really ask for. I've enjoyed everything I've gotten to do the last 10 years, but admittedly, as a working the freelance lifestyle, having everything revolve around games and being at night just about all the time, and, sometimes that's a 2 a.m. Bedtime because of West Coast baseball games, and sometimes there's early tapings at Bally that require a 6, 7, or 8 a.m. call time, and
Not fun.
yeah, and trying to just make different schedules work around working with teams, working with the Stars, the Rangers, and the Mavs, where it's kind of frowned upon to miss a day, and so then trying to make the rest of the calendar during the year work around that. It just all I enjoyed all of it, but I'm a wuss.
No.
And so having a chance to get a little more consistent schedule along with all the other things I mentioned, and most importantly, getting to fart around on the radio with you, Shoopy. I never thought I'd get to be your board op again. So
Nor did I.
It's an honor.
Nor did I. I thought that ship had sailed long ago. And when I found out that this was going to happen, that's when I really started to get a grasp on the possibilities up here. That's when I really started to get a grasp that, hey, these guys are really serious about doing this right. And really, I mean, that's all I want. I want to work for somebody who's serious about doing whatever it is they're doing right. You give me that, and I'll deal with whatever else. But let's just do whatever we're doing right, and let's do it to the best that we possibly can do it, and make it as much as it can be.
Yeah, it's like the names rolled in, and the things started to come together. Each of them were oh my, yes, high five, call, text. But when that young man's name popped in, I'm like, excuse me, because I don't,
I was too.
You never know what. I guess I don't know how happy somebody else is in anything that they're doing, but I just assumed you at the Rangers, which I know you did love.
And I still do. It absolutely, I said it, and I hope no one thinks I was ever lying, but it really was and is a dream job.
Yeah.
And it was very tough to consider leaving that. But I'd actually, full disclosure, I was actually going to be leaving them at the end of this season because Bally had a really good offer that I took. But then this came up, and it just made too much sense to me. And again, the daytime, the full-time, creative, working with y'all, every single person that is involved in this thing, from on air to behind the scenes, is just incredible. And I'm a radio dork. I've always loved radio, and obviously the ticket was a huge part of my being growing up. And this isn't a ticket offshoot, but there's a lot of my ticket friends that are a part of this. And to get to work with y'all again is, again, something I never imagined happening. But as soon as I got the call, I just immediately was looking for ways to make it happen.
That's a great point, because dork's gonna dork.
Damn right.
I'm a
And me
radio
be a
dork
dork.
too. And I don't know what I was going to wind up doing. I don't know if I was going to wind up doing anything at all. I didn't have to do anything at all. And if it never panned out for me to do anything else for the rest of my time on this planet, how little I have left, I was fine with that. But somewhere deep in here, the radio thing was still there, and that heartbeat was still functioning and still strong. And even though I may have been in denial about it, when this came up, I just couldn't say no. There's always that one thing for you out there, no matter what aspect of your life that you may be looking at. There's always that one thing that can change your mind about the way you feel about whatever that thing is. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Okay. I don't know if I put it as well as I could or should put it, but
Better than I could put it.
there's always that one thing out there that will turn your head around on no matter how dug in you may be about something. And that's what happened with me, and it sounds like that's what happened with you too, Shoopy.
Yeah, it's I've said it many times over the years. It's a pretty much a cliche for radio people, but it gets in your blood. And that connection with the listener that we hopefully will be forging in the years to come will hopefully be something that we can do, and I hope that they still love us, and I hope that we can create some magic again. And I'm repeating myself, but I cannot be more thankful for this opportunity, and to have some fun on the radio again is just incredible.
One of the things that when we think of a board op, at least at the ticket when we were there, the first thing I think of is the drops, the speed of the drops. And, as Grubes can attest, the immediate question of, are you on delay? I'm sure that's among the questions you've got more than any others. Are you on delay? How do you guys get those drops in there so good? And the guys they have doing it now are incredible. I mean, equally incredible. It's an art form or a fart form that Grubes was, essential in creating. But I think it takes a certain type of person to do it, which is sort of the root of one of my arguments about them being sort of underappreciated over there, Jeremy Moran included, is that
absolutely.
This is not just someone who sits there for X amount of time and presses the buttons to get you in and out of breaks. And it's all, playing drops. Not everyone can do it. It's difficult.
They become a part of the show.
Yes, exactly.
They become an essential part of the show. And even though their job is not really to come on and talk and interact on any kind of regular basis, they still got to be there. They still got to be focused. They got to be in the flow. They've got to know the guys who are doing the show well enough to be able to anticipate where things might go next and determine what they're going to do if, in fact, that's the way it plays out.
Right.
And we've got really lucky, or we got really lucky over the years on our show, because it seemed like every time we would lose one, I would go into a little bit of a state of depression for a few days.
Yeah.
I would, because I'd gotten so used to them and they'd become such a big part of the show that I just couldn't see at that time how we were going to be able to replace them. Yet somehow we did, and strangely enough, every time we replaced one, he adjusted to things real quick, and before long, he was about as good as the guy that he'd replaced. Mm-hmm. We were really, really lucky in that way. But then Shoopy came along, and that's when things went next level. That's when things went to a place where you couldn't just grab some guy off the streets and put him in there and achieve that.
Yeah, you need a pianist.
Yes, you do. You need an artist.
Basically do. It's an artist. And I would always say, if you hooked up some sort of device to the average listener of that radio station, and then you figure out where they laugh, I mean, such a high percentage is just stuff that the insane board op is doing, playing perfectly timed drops. I mean, it adds so much to the experience, more than I think is quantifiable, when it's time to get your paycheck every couple of weeks. So
it's certainly not quantifiable to the man, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly right. Who do you credit with being sort of the, not father of drops, but who is it like that started it, and then you sort of bastarded it or went over the top with it? Or
for me, the two I tend to put them pretty damn close are obviously big strong Jeremy Moran. He did it for 22 years in the morning. Mm-hmm. He's the one that trained every single board op that came along after the great Expo. Kevin Fox, who is tied pretty much with Jeremy. Expo playing drops for the hard line was the reason that I fell in love with the ticket.
Yeah, Expo set the template for it.
So he's the first that...
Yeah. So Expo was 95 to 2002, and he's the one that just, he took drops to that next level, and then, Psycho Dave, Justin Neely, me, Jake, David Mino, Ham, they all have done something uniquely them, but it still felt like the hard line. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's been a really cool thing to be part of that lineage. And yeah, Jeremy and Expo, they're the ones that absolutely got me into wanting to do this, and it's a very specific thing that I thought would only be possible at one radio station, and who the hell knows if my skills are just completely rusted out, but we're going to find out, and I never would have thought.
Are we ever going to find out?
I know Jeremy's listening. Hi, Jeremy. I love you.
Love you too, Jer.
He's the
Love you,
greatest,
Jer.
and he just recently retired himself, so I get it. But we talked even about if we should have any drops here at the start, and essentially the answer is no. We want this thing to have started today at 3 o'clock, and we hope you were listening. We hope you're still listening now, and we'll continue to listen. But like every drop that he pulls or finds is going to, I mean, he probably has a few farts in there. I imagine he doesn't go anywhere without them. Okay. Is that the one we did earlier? He's playing all his drops right now.
Easy, Mikey. Oh, no. You shouldn't have said that. Baseball, dinosaurs, and my
No. That's just a little sampler platter, but
Is that from our promo
yeah.
session the
So
other
I
day?
basically had to cheat a little, and anytime we had Mike's recording,
It's all fair game.
I did what I could to make some drops to at least have a little something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's honestly going to be kind of slim pickings for a little while, but that's kind of the fun of building a station. We're gonna have 4 hours a day to create some new drops and have some fun with it. And I know Shoopy's a drop factory anyway, so I'm not really too worried about it. But in the meantime, I get to get my radio timing back, hopefully, and we'll have some fun doing it.
It's funny because you and hell me are known for a handful of drops. I mean, you are known for a whole lot more. I'm just metal bat guy to a lot less.
You've had your share.
But it's funny to think we're going to start this new thing, do this, and they're all gone. They're all gone. And it's just the fact
That's
that
okay. We'll make more.
Yes, that's the beauty of it. We don't know what the hell they're going to be. It doesn't matter. And the evil one in there is the one who gets to decide, which makes it so cool. It's just
Hell yeah.
complete blank slate. If you're here with us on day one, you are ground level as you could possibly be. And he's going to be in there chronicling this thing and making sure it all stays organized. And we couldn't be in better hands. And the second part I want to give Michael credit for, Michael Grubes. All right, Grubes.
Too many Michaels.
Is Reiner alive?
Oh, God.
Is Reiner alive?
Yeah, he is. He
okay,
is.
Reiner's rejuvenated.
Ryan's Wolf, whatever.
Whatever. All right. And me, I can go any way you want. Shale, if you need it. Or
Let's go with Mikey.
Saroy, Mikey, I'll take that as well. But since the second that dude walked in the building, he's been here more than you and I have. He's been just grinding on how to get this thing going. I mean, this is a big launch.
Yes.
We were not worried, but we were concerned on so many things that went into this show just today, including you and I. We got to get back into this thing. Let's go. Let's do this damn thing. We didn't do a practice show or anything. But I was like, I don't know what the breaks sound like. I don't know. Are we going to know when to talk? There's no ticker ending, which is we've been conditioned by Pavlov's dog to know exactly when to start and all this stuff. So we were kind of waiting on that. And he's been smooth as hell today. But even more than that, I don't even know if you're technically the producer of this show, but that dude has been
if I know.
arm in arm with me with ideas that you've come up with and I have, and just organizing stuff. And look, I mean, I've known Grubes forever. Haven't really work hand in hand with him like you two have. And I know the drops are going to come, the funny crap is going to come, but that dude has just been busting it and helping build this show, this new station, all of it. And I hate to say on day one, but I can't imagine doing it with anyone else or without him. So it's going good so far, Michael.
Yes, it's going very good. And I got to tell you that, I mean, it's not like I was ever really thinking about not doing it once the opportunity came up. But when I learned that that Shoopy was going to be involved, that let me know for sure that, number one, I'm doing the right thing here. And number two, this thing is going to go somewhere.
Hell yeah.
This thing is going to have some staying power, and this thing is going to be a factor in this market.
It's so self, because you saying that, and then the fact that you're in gives us that gravitas. So it's all sort of self-fulfilling, but to know it and believe it the way that I can tell that you do.
Oh, I do. I do. Make no mistake.
Instills so much confidence. It's really unbelievable. All right. We have not done one benchmark or one stapler, one of the new things that we're hoping you enjoy every day from 3 to 7 here on the Downbeat on 97.1 The Freak. But we're going to do one next, aren't we?
We are.
For the very first time ever, we're going to allow you, the listener, to walk inside a special place. What's it called, Mike?
The Sunset Lounge.